open the meeting, June 11th at 7:30.
So motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
So motion.
Second.
Okay,
Rolling right along.
moving on. Invoices.
Motion to approve 4 TEC invoices?
One of them is mine, so I'm gonna abstain.
Yep. Which one is that, Brad? So we
Nelson,
can, huh?
Nelson Street's mine.
Nelson, yep. Okay.
Second, if anybody did second that.
All in favor?
Aye. One abstention?
Yep.
Yep. Do we have TEC here?
Pete, I was saying
Oh,
that
Pete's
TC just texted me and said that he's on his way.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
so you wanna wait for that?
I think we can get started, but
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, I mean,
All right, motion open that.
301 Main Street,
Yeah.
application for site plan review and special permit.
Motion open the continued hearing.
Second.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members. My name is Mark Bobrowski. I'm an attorney. I represent the applicant, and my office is in Concord. We're here tonight to have site plan approval for the reuse of the former gas station and the site itself, and then a special permit under section 9.4 to reduce the parking from the required 16 spaces to 10. So we'll handle the two requests in that order. The site plan pertains to a small retail application that's an allowed use in the business district, so pretty straightforward. There's also a post office, as you know, on the property. Office is also an allowed use in the business district. I'm gonna
Gonna
turn it
give you a
over.
mic here.
Or even.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Can you,
Be Oh, I easier. didn't
please, yeah, step into the podium is easier than,
Holding a mic, you can drop the
Yeah.
mic.
Okay,
Yeah.
no problem. My glaucoma kicked in there. No, I'm not joking. So, those are the two uses that are before you this evening. I'd like to handle the special permit for the parking reduction later. I know there's been some history here, and I want to put a couple of things on right at the outset here. First of all, despite rumors to the contrary, there is no use restriction imposed by the DOT on this property when they paid money for the eminent domain taking a few years ago. I have all the deeds for the property, including the taking, the settlement agreement between the former owner of the property and the DOT for some water damage that occurred on the property, as well as her 2 deeds for the property. And there's no mention whatsoever of a use restriction that the building that was formerly the gas station cannot be used, and that it would just be limited to a post office. That's myth. There is a sentence in the appraisal, which is not a legal instrument for property purposes, that says they're probably not going to be able to use that building for a gas station, and you might get it permitted to use for another purpose. But that has no legal restriction on the property. It's not recorded at the Registry of Deeds. Appraisers often give you an opinion like that, but they're not giving you a legal opinion, they're giving an appraiser's opinion. So I want to put that to bed right at the outset. And the second thing is that with me is Ken Cram and Peter Ogren. They'll describe the site in more detail momentarily. But to the extent that the Mass DOT has to give a highway access permit here or modify the existing highway access permit, we're prepared to accept that as a condition, if applicable. If the DOT gives it a pass, then they give it a pass. It's entirely the DOT's jurisdiction here as to the nature of the curb cut. So I'm more than happy with a condition in the site plan and the special permit that says if you need it, you have to get it. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Peter Ogren, and he'll give you a more detailed description.
I actually don't think we have a lot to offer from the last time. The only change that we've made in the site plan is There was I think, a consensus that the two-way traffic, which is required at the entrance, was still kind of pinched, even with the little expansion that we were doing in the area where vehicles could travel. And so we've changed the design of the handicap ramp for the post office in conjunction with the post office's real estate expert, so that it will open up that entrance. And I might bring the microphone with me, but it's this change in configuration here of this ramp.
It's fine.
It's this change of configuration of this ramp in order to get rid of the part that overhangs the building, so that the access ramp itself will end up being flush with the building itself. We intend to leave the handicap space where it is, and the post office was fine with that. I guess there was one other suggestion that Ken made. We moved the stop sign back onto our property. We had originally wanted to put it on an existing post that was there, but we moved it back by the stop line. And I think those are the only changes since this was presented to you at your last meeting.
So what's that give you for the width?
Well, the width, the width really doesn't change. I mean, the width is still the width of the location here. What it does is it just improves the angle of access. The pavement was very wide once you got in by the building, but the angle of approach was not as good. And I think Ken could probably explain that better. I think it was actually his suggestion that we did that.
Thank you, Peter. Ken Cram, 2 Ruby Circle, Bradford. Yeah, what we do is by simply using the existing curb cut that's out there, half of it roughly is in front of the post office building, built there by Mass DOT when they did the bridge project. And by simply moving the handicap ramp into the post office over and extending the pavement line kind of like at a tangent, you get about 23 feet of width right there, which is more than adequate for two-way traffic flow for automobile traffic. And since we're projected to be a low traffic generator, the post office already is a low traffic generator, that will be more than adequate to handle the needs of our site as well.
Has a
How do
business
you-
been selected yet?
How do you determine that post office is low traffic?
My observation
Because
of it,
I'm saying 90% of the traffic goes through the other side and loops around. So if they block that off, then that's not low traffic. It's going to be high traffic on that side there.
let me just ask a clarification question before I try and answer your question.
Yep.
If who blocks what off?
Norwood Insurance.
If they block off their driveway over
Yes.
here on this side?
Yes.
Well, that's the whole purpose of this exercise, is to create a driveway for in and out for our use in this part of the building and the post office.
Okay.
Recognizing that he could legally do that if he
Yes.
so decided.
No, I'm just saying that, yeah.
That's why we've done this, to widen the driveway to get two-way flow.
But when you're coming out on the right-hand side,
Correct.
and the lights and stuff, everything is right there.
Right
You cannot get out there unless somebody lets you go out.
That is correct, or you make a right turn into the right turn lane, cross the bridge into Haverhill.
So
That's correct.
yes.
I'm sorry, was I not on?
So the proposal to Mass DOT, is that to move the stop sign, the crosswalk, anything that interferes with the flow of traffic?
We're hoping not to have to do that. But that's going to be up to Mass DOT to tell us if and when they decide that we need to do that. All the work that we're proposing to do is on our site. Doesn't change anything within the state highway layout.
Well, if you're widening, it looks like you're widening the entrance to get more in and out here, so it looks like you're doing another curb cut there then.
No, what we're missing right here is, see, this trapezoidal shape right here?
Yeah.
That's pavement already. This line is simply drawn to show where the edge of the pavement would be, or the edge of traveled way would be for the car that turns right into the site. The new pavement is going to be generally this area right here, which is now grass.
So what's the total from the curb cut to curb cut in and out?
Just about 23 feet.
23 feet.
Standard curb cut width for the Mass DOT driveway is 24.
Standard travel lane is 11.
I mean, you're a foot short from DOT's standards, though.
Correct. But right now, it's way short. We're making it better.
And
Making it,
I would just point out that it's in DOT's jurisdiction. So,
Yes, it's DOT
Yep.
restrictions.
so we're
I
going to
mean,
go hat in hand to DOT.
I'm sure he's got this letter here. You all got this letter?
that's the May 23rd letter.
Yes. Huh?
The May 23rd letter.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
So what's
Correct.
what's your plan B? You have a proposed set of drawings to give to them besides this? Because when we were out there, did the site walk, didn't look like this is gonna work. Looks like, some of that curb's gotta get moved, a chunk of that concrete's gotta get moved, the light's gotta get access to allow people in and out. There was just so much that needed to happen in that intersection, and it wasn't gonna be slide everything on an angle and take out some lawn. It was pretty substantial. And then what's the traffic flow count? Do you have a traffic count study done yet?
No, we have not done any traffic counts.
Okay, so that's gotta be, you gotta figure that out too, because it does get tricky at certain times of the day here. But this is where, we ran into the issue over here. I mean, by doing the site, we spent a lot of time there, looking at this, that, I would like to see whatever you're gonna submit. Of course, you'll send a copy to us to the board. I mean, but somebody's gotta propose a set of lights in here, traffic count, turns.
Why do we need a set of lights?
How are you gonna get out here? Did you actually go down there?
I've
Were you
been-
there with us?
I was not there with you, but being in the area, living in the area for the past 25 years, I've been here many times. I've been by there. I have driven by there. It is impossible during rush hour to make a left turn out of there, no question.
Yeah.
We're going to have to live with a right turn in, right turn out restriction, which we are happy with.
So close to the light as it is.
It is close to the light, but it's what we have to work with.
Or you petition DOT, put a second, instead of another light in here, okay, slide this thing up and you come up with a intersection
DOT's
change.
Oh, we can't, no, that will not happen because there's a wall there for the part of the bridge.
That's right, and we talked about that, and you missed the walk, I think, but we talked about that being removed by DOT or slid over or something like that.
That wall can't be moved. That's a structural foundation wall as part of the road, holding the road up.
So, not all of it, not all of it. I don't know. I'll just tell you what we saw, but a traffic count, you guys should have had that done by now.
What would we do that for? A small retail operation?
A traffic count?
Yeah.
Because it's required in the regulation.
Well, for one thing, we're proposing small retail by appointment only. So what we'd like to do is have a restriction placed in both
So
the
you're
site
trying to do
plan.
a waiver to a traffic count on the state highway? Is that what you're asking for?
I've never heard of a traffic study being proposed for a use which will have 2 customers an hour, ever, period.
You think two
The-
customers?
The
What
only
about
problem,
flows going out?
the only problem I have there is he has proposed 3, 4, 5 different businesses in there.
We're here tonight with a definitive one.
Which one?
Which is,
Small retail, by appointment only, not more than 2 customers per hour.
Of what?
The small retail, we want it
Small
generic.
Retail,
We want it to be generic so that he can find an appropriate business to move in there, willing to accept the conditions that you will impose, such as right turn only, such as no more than 2 customers an hour by appointment. We have a gentleman here this evening who's a potential taker for those conditions, and he's not a part of our application, but he is interested in the building, and you can hear what he has to
what kind of
say.
business is that? Pontoon boats. Okay, so you were here before.
I was here before.
Yes.
Yes.
But I think it's overkill to require, what is Ken supposed to do? Find a land use code and then do trip generation?
Well, it just isn't- just
It's
the
two-
same
it's two an
traffic
hour.
And logistics on pulling out onto a state highway at different times and peak loads and out, which is just a standard count. I mean, you should have no objections to that.
It's pretty easy to do.
Okay.
It's 2 an hour.
So do it.
It's 2 an hour.
No, not 2 an hour out, what the actual traffic is on 113 coming.
What difference does that make? The volume is the
Access.
volume.
That's right, and what is that volume?
I'm sure that the volume is overwhelming for anybody trying to make a left-hand turn in a peak hour.
Specifics, we don't deal with overwhelming, we deal with numbers here. What is the traffic flow? If you don't know, just get it done. And we
It's-
asked about that a couple months ago, by the way.
I wasn't here a couple of months ago, so I wouldn't know that. But I'm sure on a
But
left-hand
wait,
turn on the
wait,
AM peak
Your
hour.
applicant was, and your other people were, and so, I'm sorry that you weren't on the team then, but that's not our problem, really, that's yours.
Look, I've got one of the finest traffic engineers in the
Good,
state
so-
sitting right in front
So we should be
of
able to
you.
pull the numbers and get it together within a week. So get it done. Right? How long does it take?
It can be done,
Okay,
but it won't be done in a week,
all right. So how long would you like to do the traffic study? Just what's a standard amount of time?
3 weeks.
All right, so, known about it for long enough, but okay, 3 weeks, get a traffic study done. At least we have something, then we can start looking at things, not, you know, I've tried to go in and out of there, I've been in this town over 30 years too, so, and impossible sometimes to get in there. I park across the street like everybody else and run in and out of the post office if I have to, so. And depends on things coming in and out and all that, and we know there's peaks and valleys, and the bridge made things worse where it is, there's no doubt about it. But I think there's solutions to that we all met on site with, and we came up with a whole bunch of them. Neither of you gentlemen were there, but we came up with a whole bunch of solutions that might work. But the biggest one is here is what's DOT gonna do for you, and what are you gonna do for them, so that you can get back to us? Because it's important.
Well, I'm having trouble understanding in what context you will use the traffic study. Will you do it to shape the site
You're
plan?
gonna need it for DOT too. I imagine in your application, you're gonna need that to submit to them.
You heard the gentleman say that we're hoping that we don't have to do that, but we will do it if we have to.
Yeah. So, traffic studies are required on small subdivisions.
What will
These
you
special permits.
use the information for? The site plan part of this or the special permit part of this?
Most likely both, sir.
But the parking is readily predictable. Your bylaw has requirements.
Yes.
It's
And-
three,
Right.
three,
You're right,
300
and-
square, 300
and
feet
we-
for,
You're right. I just read the bylaw, so you might be right. He's trying to push the bylaw to 250. I don't see 250 vehicles going in and out of there
no,
every day.
it's one space per 250 square feet of building.
He's
For
referring
retail.
to section 13.5.8 of site plan approval under the bylaw, which states the planning board may require a traffic impact analysis if the project generates more than 250 vehicle trips per, or if deemed necessary by the
Yeah,
planning board.
so I'm just trying to back him off a little bit, so, while I mean, 250 vehicles per trip it's not gonna happen there.
No, it says deemed necessary. If it wasn't a major intersection town with a combination of two state highways.
Oh, I understand that,
That's
but
all.
I'm
We
just saying.
kind of need the information, and you could Merrimack Valley probably has some of this already on database, okay, that you could probably use. That would help us. But it's gonna help us in a lot of ways on figuring this thing out. I mean, you want us to give granted approval, we have questions about traffic, everyone does that goes in there. Okay, now, so let's answer it for people. Let's not give them a reason to, veto or an appeal the decision because we didn't do a traffic study. I mean, it's pretty easy, and we did ask for it. It's not like it's not the first time. So, that's just a simple thing to do, and the truck total will figure it out. You guys are gonna figure out your trips per day, that's part of it, that goes into it as well. So let's not make it an issue. It's
And
really
to
easy
answer your question,
Well-
if you're asking for a reduction in the 7 spaces you need to prove that you don't have as many customers as what the parking requires.
Well, the way we're breaking it down is that there will be 3 parking spaces used during the regular business day, maximum for the former gas station. That's 1 employee plus 2 customers per hour by appointment. And the other, the post office is required to have 1 space per 300 square feet. It's got just under 1,500 square feet, so that's 5 spaces, plus the number of employees in the post office, which I'm told are 1.
Yes.
Right. So that would be a total of 9 spaces at any time. We're asking for a reduction to 10. I would point out as well that the post office is a use protected by the supremacy clause and should not even be factored into your zoning determinations, because the US government can do whatever they want to do, whether they lease or own the building. So that's just something for you to chew on.
It's less the zoning and more that doesn't excuse the fact that there are people parking there.
Well, but we meet your parking standard, that's my point. We have a total of, we could put 16 parking spaces in there. I don't think that that's what you would require without a special permit. I don't think it'd be pretty, so we'd rather reduce it, acknowledging, as does your bylaw, that you can seek a reduction when peculiarities of the use which make usual measure of demand invalid is in play. And that's exactly what we have. We're going to do small retail by appointment. So there's going to be one employee and 2 customers at any one time in cars, max, plus the post office. So I appreciate your curiosity and your desire to have more detailed information, but I do think it's a little bit like swinging a sledgehammer at a mouse.
Do you live here?
No, I live in Concord.
You ever try going in and out of there?
I've been just there, and I was there a week ago. And I know your town, I worked with your ZBA for many years.
I know you helped us on zoning bylaws for a lot of years, when we were writing them as well.
I've
So-
seen my handiwork someplace.
Yeah, so, thank you. The problem is, we don't work for you, we work for the residents of this town.
I get it.
And so we have to do our due diligence. If we need a simple traffic study, or we do need to, your approach, hit it with a sledgehammer to make sure it's done right, and that's what we're gonna do, because we don't work for you. We work for the residents of Groveland. They put us in office to do this job, and that's what we're gonna do. So, but I think you can answer most of those questions very simply. And I think the problem with this application from the start was you weren't here. Okay? And this poor man was trying to do this by himself, going through, and, you know, hats off to him, but he certainly got off to the wrong start and maybe the wrong direction. So you're here to straighten it out, so we got a couple of small requests. DOT, I'd love to get them in here in a joint meeting, I don't know, flavor of the board on that, when this, whatever you're gonna submit is discussed, because I'm sure they have a lot more information than we have
Yeah, but it's
on something like this. And maybe they can propose some stuff, it's their bridge,
where the boats are going.
you know, their intersection really. So maybe they can propose some changes that would actually help the intersection as well as your business. I would like to do more business. It'd be nice if people could get in and out of there. And I
Well,
don't have any answers for that, we just have to see what they're gonna do.
Ken, is that likely?
Well, SDOT come for a meeting,
Yeah,
you can ask.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they came to plenty of bridge meetings. I mean, can we reach out to them and ask them to come into,
I can certainly make the request.
yeah, and then let's all hear it at the same time, and maybe they might say the same thing you did, or maybe they'll say, hey, you know what, we got a better idea. Pull a plan out of their pocket somewhere that they never activated.
Yeah.
Well, even if they don't come, as
The
I
on-
said,
the only-
we'll take a
the only
condition that
other
we have
thing
to
I
get
see
their
is-
approval.
I mean, this building was supposed to be separate from this one. All right, I only see one handicap spot for,
Post office use?
for the post office. I don't see any handicap parking for the gas, or whatever it's gonna be, all right? The retail business. Where's that handicap gonna be? There's no, on the plan or nothing to see.
I can answer that, they use the same handicap space.
No, it's,
It's not exclusive to the post office, it's, would be one space for the 10 cars on the site. I mean, you're talking about the probability of whether it's not exclusive.
it's supposed to
the
be
post
2
office.
sites. It's not one whole site.
Well, it's only one lot. I know it's two, it was always two principal.
There's
uses
always
on the
2.
lot,
It's always been 2.
But, it's not 2 different sites, it's one lot.
And, okay,
One lot, with 2 principal uses on it.
if so, can I, have Mr. Cornell speak on that?
It is.
Yes, yes, public hearing, and yes.
My name's Brian Connell, representing 293 Main Street. Ann Bevilacqua is the owner of the property, and Groveland Square LLC is named. We've had a lot of talk about kind of the parking, how many spots, reduction, all of those things. I recognize that we're talking about another new use that will say 2 cars by appointment per hour per day. But I still don't believe that anyone's got a very good feeling as to what the use has been and what it will be, especially if we only turn our property into just Norwood Insurance. There was a site plan visit, or a site visit, I want to say about a month or 2 back. I had actually closed off our driveway to make sure that we can actually see how this would work principally for ingress and egress. I know part of the bylaw as well is, if they are going to do a parking reduction, that it can't be a safety concern, which it really kind of looked like a safety concern, and/or a betterment to the public, which I don't think either of those it is, just for the record. But what we're talking about here is adding an additional use. I saw the letter from, I think, May 23rd from the State Highway requesting that a new application be put forth. But that notwithstanding, I think everyone here, most of you were at that site visit, and it was using this as the new layout, which comes very close to a handicap ramp for your ingress. Ingress was very limited because you're coming out of where we all know you're at a stop line, you're at a crosswalk, you're at 2 different highways. And the reason for my concern is we have customers that are coming in and out all the time. In fact, many times we see trucks coming down. The post office truck itself comes through. There's a collection for charitable goods that also comes down our driveway. We haven't shut it down. We're not necessarily planning on shutting it down, and due in large part that we've been kind of good neighbors and we've been permissible for the post office. Many of their customers are our customers, and we've kind of let people use that. We're not out there monitoring to figure out how many people are coming to Norwood, how many people are going to the post office, how many people that are going to the post office are customers of Norwood, right? It's a small town, Groveland. So what I would recommend, and I would certainly like to see it, is if we do restrict this off for whatever the study is that we're going to take a look at for how many people are coming in and out to use its singular use right now, which was, I believe, what was permitted by the Mass Highway Division for the post office. They're asking for an application to change this, to add and reconstitute the Getty gas station, I think is what it's been referred to as. But I would prefer to see something like that as a study, because it's not only probably getting more use than you think at our cost, at our burden, at Ann's, property, but it's also a bit of a safety concern there. It's not an easy in, it's not a very easy out. I know these gentlemen have done a good as they can do job with a very tough intersection and a very tough curb cut and a very tough ingress egress. But to me, if that's truly going to be the curb cut, and that's going to be for the by appointment only and everything else, I think we should look at what those real numbers are, because it is a safety concern, it is a traffic concern, and it's certainly not a betterment to the neighborhood. So I just want to go on record with that. I appreciate it.
That's easy to do, right? You can run the hose across
And
the access now and just get a count for a couple weeks, see what it is. 'Cause
It wouldn't be a hose.
Well, okay, whatever it is that you use now.
our peer engineer is here, so I'd like to hear from him, too.
Hi, Peter Ellison with TEC. I think I don't really have anything new other than the latest plan that was submitted late last week shows a slight increase in the driveway width by moving that ramp over. But to echo the board's comments, when we met on the field about a month ago, we made it very clear we were looking for coordination with DOT and some more traffic information and solutions at that egress. And that's what we're looking for.
I'll do it from here. Were there minutes from that meeting?
Yes.
What-
Could we get a copy of them
Oh, no,
since?
there was no minutes at the meeting because there was no deliberation.
Right.
So these ideas don't exist on paper?
With the sidewalk.
It was a site walk.
Right.
Sidewalk.
Thank you.
I have a
Excuse me.
question for you. So to do these traffic counts, you would have to take into account the cars entering through Norwood Insurance in addition to the cars only using the egress?
Yes.
Because right now, no one is coming in through that egress. I can tell you. Unless you purposefully are going out of your way or you miss the first turn, no one's using the egress for ingress. So when you find counts, you have to take into account both.
Excuse
Yeah,
me, I just want to chime in on that, just, if need be, we can block off that driveway again, although it is a bit of a inconvenience for our
I think it's-
clients.
I think she's right. It's good to get a count of everybody going through, so we get the right number.
Okay.
Onto that, we'll see, 'cause
James Bevelak, 26 Coleman Road. If this did get approved under certain conditions, who enforces those conditions?
The building inspector is our
Building-
enforcement agent.
Building inspector and, yeah, the, yeah, building inspector, but basically,
Thank you.
yep. Zone enforcement officer.
So you say 3 weeks to get everything together, you think? What do you think, to get how long would it take to coordinate something with DOT? We could try to do something all at the same time, like a month from now?
Almost never gonna happen.
Twice there.
Oh,
Huh?
Twice there.
Really?
at least. Just one more question. I know that we've kind of somewhat settled on a business, but not, do we have any clue on operating hours of what that could be, maybe want to be?
Speak in case it's
Sure.
Frank Rossetti from Pontoon Boats of Mass. Small business, they're selling 2 to 3 boats a month. We're not looking to be there, looking to put boats in the inside, set up a showroom. When a boat comes in, it might have a motor mounted, put on it there, and on a trailer, that's it. And they go inside. I would like to have a fenced area in the future for Elyria for a couple of boats in case more boats come in at that truck or whatever, that delivery. And what happens is that they're just gonna be there for showroom purposes. Nobody's gonna be there. I'm probably gonna show up twice a week by appointment only to see them, so it's not gonna be a daily occurrence. I also have a location that's opening in the Liberty Tree Mall, and I have a store in there that's gonna have boats in it. So this makes it a nicer location for, the boat comes in, has a motor taken out, they put the outboard motors in a box inside the boats now.
Yeah.
And we take it out, mount it on the back, and then it'll go to the mall. And some will stay inside there. So it'll be 2 showrooms, not looking to be a big thing, it's not gonna be a daily occurrence. Matter of fact, if it's twice a week, I'll be surprised. That's all I want.
What kind of rig delivers the boats?
What's that?
What kind of rig delivers the boats?
What kind of delivery
Oh,
truck?
it'll be just a pickup truck with a trailer, they'll
What's
do
this?
them one at a time.
How big is the trailer?
The
big as the
trailer-
boat?
They're 20-foot boats, 22-foot boats.
25,
I
27
can
foot
leave you a
trailer.
couple
Yeah.
of brochures.
Yeah, you left that.
I think you've seen them before.
Yes.
but
Yeah,
I'll leave
no,
them with you anyway, but
Yeah.
that's what we do, and it's not gonna be a high-traffic location. First of all, they couldn't handle it, but second of all, it's only for a car to come in, look at the windows, dial up for an appointment, and then we'll come back whenever we set it up. And I'm not gonna do it at high-traffic times, because there's no need to.
So you're
So
not
how
looking
We
at,
can pick our times.
How would a truck get in here? That's my question, with a trailer.
it's just a pickup truck
It's
and a
just a
trailer.
pickup truck.
Pick
It's
up
all
truck.
right.
With a 24-foot trailer.
And they,
He could
they
pull it.
actually could roll it in by a hand, so no problem.
Well,
Yeah, once
that's-
we get in the parking lot, we'll have a power tow and just
Yeah.
move the boat around by itself.
Right, that's, because we talked about rigs and not being able to turn around, and so if you add those two together, you get a 40-foot
No, we're not gonna do that.
vehicle,
Well, it's a car,
basically.
yeah.
Yeah, so you got a truck and you got a trailer on it, just, do we have the turning radiuses to get in and out of it?
Yeah, there's plenty of room. It's just a boat and a trailer. People pull into boat ramps that are much smaller
It's
than
just
that.
gonna come in this way. It's just gonna do this.
You're gonna be looking to use the Merrimack River?
No.
I have one other question, and anybody, board, anybody can tell me, out of context or whatever, but I see Stock Construction here, which was in a site walk. He was thinking about putting his business there, so, is there, what's going, I mean, the gentleman that is presenting this project has always brought two people that were interested in the project. And Stock Construction in here is now, so I mean, what's going on? That's all I'm asking.
I don't know, dude.
I'm just saying, I mean,
Well, I think
he's more than welcome to come, but I'm just saying, you have brought three people one time, him, a dungaree place, and a Haponic place, all at one time. Now, he's back again, which is fine, but now Stock Construction, he was at the site walk, all right? So, what are you putting in there is what I'm asking. It's-
Small retail by appointment, Mr. Chairman,
Yeah, well, you know.
with no more than 2 cars coming from customers in and out.
You know.
If this gentleman takes the place, then we'll be lucky and we'll have a live person in front of you.
No,
But if he
that's
doesn't,
fine.
we
I'm
still
just
want to be
saying,
able
but
to.
you know, I just saw him here, and I'm interested why he's here.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because this guy has been here before, which I understand. I got the brochure, I liked it, but now Stock Construction, Stock Construction did the site walk with us. So, and he said, oh, he just wants to put an office, a small, showroom and everything, which is, I would, fine with that, but, he's got two people here that want the building, so
well,
it's-
I think we're locked into a category, small retail, and we're willing to accept a condition that it be by appointment.
I think he's saying small retail.
Yeah, I
It
understand.
doesn't give a classification.
That is the classification in
He's
your
not
use
giving the-
table.
He's not giving the
That
use.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, businesses swap out all the time.
Right.
As long as you stay within the use category in the use table,
Yes.
we're
I
good.
agree.
We don't need anything but site plan approval. It's a permitted use.
Yeah, but
So
you're
if we
saying
changed it to an office or a realty.
Yeah, but you don't understand,
Because they're not changing the
this has
file.
been going on so long.
That's why we're sticking with the category, small retail, which is allowed by right.
He's
So the
just
curb
been
right now is
putting
at
us,
I understand.
you know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah, I understand your
I don't know if it's
opinion,
just
so
because the curb
I'm
is
fine,
there, but the
but I'm
planter's here.
saying,
So like you
it's getting a
essentially
little
can't use any-
I understand.
tiring
Yeah.
to have him come back.
I won't be in here next time telling you that we've changed the category in the use
No,
table.
I understand, no problem.
Rebecca, what was the initial filing on the app? Was it for this?
It
Or
was retail small, it's been
Retail
retail
s-
small since he filed.
Retail
the
small by
application.
appointment only?
It's changed
No, it
throughout
wasn't
the
appointment
course.
only,
I
no.
mean,
So you could do mod on your app?
That's a condition that we're willing to accept from you. It's not what
Okay.
we're applying for. We're signaling you that we will accept that as a condition.
But I can explain why I'm here, if that will help clarify things for you.
I'm just
I'd like to
interested,
hear it.
that's all, because this gentleman has brought so many people in
Right,
for,
well, let me explain why I'm here,
okay?
all right? You have a building in the middle of your town that's doing nothing but falling to seed. You can't seem to make a decision as to whether you're gonna let them use it or not. I have an opportunity to turn around and collect my entire business and move into a facility that's relatively close by in my geographic business area, and would be a good opportunity for me. At this point, he's been so tied up in litigation, nobody knows what's gonna happen with the business, whether he's even gonna be able to use the building or not. But if the building becomes available, we've put an offer in front of him as a possible tenant. He hasn't said he'll accept it, he hasn't said he'll reject it, but we've put the offer in front of him. So we're here on a fact-finding mission, just like the rest of you, to find out whether the building is going to be able to be utilized.
the way I look at it is we have a lot of buzzards circling that just don't want to see anything happen there. The post offices continue to function there. You're not going to get rid of it. You're still going to have the same traffic impact from the post office, no matter what you do. The insurance company's traffic, they get impacted from people coming in their driveway, going around to the post office, but there's people that are going to their insurance agency and coming around and coming out the post office at the same time. So, I mean, a lot of this stuff is semantics, as far as I can see. The bottom line is he going to be able to utilize the business or not? And if he can, then I need to talk to him to see whether we can do some business or whether he's got another tenant. If he's got another tenant, fine. I move on, find someplace else. But it just seems like there's a lot of dance here and not much happening, so I'm doing a fact-finding mission.
Well, there's not a lot there.
All right?
We're trying to make it right. That's
Yeah,
all it is.
I mean, my
And so
my
don't
idea
tell
for
us
the...
we're dancing, you know, we're trying to make it right. That's all we are doing. We're trying to make it right for the town of Groveland. We work for the town of Groveland, so,
Yep, no, I understand that.
Okay.
And like I say, my
And
business
don't
would
tell us
benefit
we're
from it,
dancing.
and my business would be relatively low impact, because
Yeah.
we'd be in at off hours of the
Absolutely.
day. We'd also have a place to have a good presence in a community that we do business in, and hopefully revitalize your downtown a little bit.
that's fine. That's fine. I'm just saying, this has been going on for so long, and he's brought so many people in, that's.
Right.
I'm just asking, that's all I.
Okay, and I'm trying to clarify.
I
We've put
was
an
just
offer in front of
asking.
him, he hasn't said yea or nay.
Exactly.
Okay.
But I'm just asking.
Okay.
That's the only reason why I'm saying that, you know? Because there's been 5 or 6 people in here, okay?
Understood.
All right? And I'm not trying to.
No, no, I'm not
And
trying
I'm
to
not
be
try-
disrespectful or
and-
anything.
and
I'm just trying to
And
clarify.
I'm not trying to pick any
Yeah.
business. I can't pick any business. Whatever he decides, that's fine with me.
He just
I
gotta find
wanna
out whether
make
he can do it, that's
I just
all.
want to make it right, okay?
Yeah.
So, okay?
Very good.
All right. Thank you.
Just to, excuse me, just to clarify something, I guess I'm one of the buzzards that you speak of. When you leave, one of the proposals is when you're exiting the post office egress. I mean, the exit. So you go to the post office and now you're leaving, you'll be going across the bridge. That's the proposal?
You can only make a right turn in,
Come on.
and you can only make a right
Yes.
turn
All
out.
right, so you'll make a right-hand turn only, and if you want to go to Georgetown or anywhere in Groveland, you have to go to Haverhill first, then turn around and come back.
Yes.
All right, so that's
Unless you
correct.
can make it into the, I mean, there's a possibility that traffic allows you to be into the.
No, there'll
into
be
the
a
left
sign
lane.
there, right only, correct?
There'll be a sign, yes.
There's a sign that says you can only make a right turn out of the
No, not-
driveway.
Not right
Correct.
there.
Yeah,
No,
no,
no.
but you can make a right turn out of the driveway. There is the possibility that traffic would allow you to actually make it into the left turn at the light. I can't guarantee that. I can almost guarantee it would never happen.
Oh, I
Because there's
follow you.
always somebody there.
Well, you'd have to
However,
block the traffic to
You
do
would,
that.
right, but it doesn't force you over the bridge. It's only forcing you from not being able to turn left
All
and
right.
head back into Groveland.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. I just have one more question. Have any of your team reached out to DOT on your own behalf?
Ken has.
And what happened?
Nothing yet.
Okay.
We actually reached out to them early on, and we got an opinion from them that there would not be a requirement for new highway access, that the highway access was built to provide for that. But apparently, and then it's the second time that we inquired again about it, that they said, that they would wanna take a look at a new permit.
Okay.
But they sent us an early correspondence that said.
Indicating nothing.
In and out.
They're gonna do it anyway because it's change of use.
No, it's not a change in use in their mind. We went over
No,
that.
I mean, it was a gas station.
Yeah, but it's commercial. Their accesses are residential and commercial. They're not
I don't
gas
think, well,
stations.
I don't think we'd ever get them here for that. This was gonna be, they're gonna approve whatever you submit, really. I think they will.
Well, I think their attitude is that they did not take away the use of the gas station, but they recognized that it would have to be a low traffic generator. It couldn't be a
Yeah.
gas station anymore.
Well, motion to continue, so we get some time. How much time do you need to?
We would need a continuance from the applicant. We
Yeah.
only have until June.
I make a motion that we
What
extend the
could-
meeting to have a traffic count in, out of the post office side
For 1 month?
for how many,
A month from now.
1 month? Yes.
They only need 3 weeks.
So we, hold on, I think, point of order, so we need a,
I'm sorry,
the extension's only good till when?
until today, June 11th.
Till today, okay, so we're in June 11th, so we're talking, July here.
Do you have a regular meeting scheduled for July?
We
The
have two,
16th?
we usually meet the first and third Tuesday of every month, so that would take us to July 2nd and July 16th.
Can we have July 16th for the evening?
I have, on vacation, so.
I'm on vacation
July
the second.
2nd is the
All
first.
lawyers take the 4th of July week
Huh?
off. There's
we do
nobody
that
doing
night?
any business.
Yeah, exactly.
Could we do the 9th? Could we just do a meeting on the 9th instead?
What's that?
The 9th of July, instead of doing the 1st and 3rd? Could we
No,
do
I'm
Tuesday
s-
night? All of us
I-
have to
I'm
be here.
leaving-
When are you leaving?
I'm leaving the 3rd, and I won't
Okay.
be back until,
That's
A
why in
week and a
summer, we
half
only had
after
somebody
that.
on for signing
Right.
permits for July and
Does
August.
that not bring you back by the 16th?
let me check, I'm sorry. So I'm leaving the 3rd, I will be back, yes, I will be back the 16th.
Oh,
Okay.
Can we do that?
We do the 16th?
So we have all the members that can vote, all four.
Don't know yet, my schedule's not out for 10 days, so, for July. I'll try to bid it off, but, that's all.
Just by law, we need,
Everybody.
Yep.
we need 4 members of a 5-member board, but one of our members was not present.
So let's put a tentative on the 16th, we need the extension, run the extension through the end of July, just in case we have to slide it,
That's fine.
and then, we'll move around it.
I'm sorry,
Do you have
what
an
was that? We need
extension
4
form, or
of the
would you
5?
like me
I
to?
wasn't here when it
We
started.
would need 4 of the majority, since Brad would not be able to
Was
weigh
he-
in because he
okay.
was not here, but a member at that point in time.
Sure.
Okay. So, did somebody second that motion?
Oh, I'm sorry. Second to continue hearing until July 16th pending traffic analysis.
Okay, and then who's writing the extension?
I'll write it up, but do you have a form, or do you want me to write it up?
I have a form, I can print that up.
Okay, great. Can I, having just arrived here this evening, who are the voting members?
I would not be the voting member. I did not, it's easier that way, isn't it?
there you go.
Brad Legal,
So only 4 of you will vote?
yes.
Okay. Have you adopted the Mullen
Yes.
statute? Yeah. A lot of small towns haven't done that yet.
Really?
Yeah, I'm in Rockport next week, and they never heard of it before.
What?
The Mullen, we did a Mullen.
Oh,
We actually just did that like last meeting.
yeah.
I guess we're better than Rockport.
I guess we're
At least we knew what it
slight
was.
step ahead.
Can you do
So
it,
everybody sit,
can someone do
Yeah,
it by
did we,
phone?
did we, vote?
Yeah,
You gotta
I
call for the vote.
seconded.
Second it? Everybody?
Aye?
Aye.
Can you do it by phone, the vote? Does anyone know?
I don't know if.
You can, you
You can do a conference.
you can do remote.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if all,
Yeah, we've done it before, actually.
yeah, I
Yeah,
thought so.
yeah, we did. You had a conference call, and,
Provision within the board, I thought you had accept.
yeah, as long as I'm not in orbit, I mean, it's easy to do.
What is the official name of the applicant here? Is it Lee?
It's Ronald Gannon.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was a corporation or not. No, I got it, Lee, that's okay. So we're gonna give you the continuance until July 31st?
That'd be great.
Is that, what day is that? Do we know?
It's a Wednesday, I believe.
Okay.
16th, right?
Yes, it's a Wednesday.
But the continuance,
Very good.
Huh?
the continuance to the 31st.
Yes.
You taking a vacation?
No, I have a kid. I don't get a vacation.
You're not taking a
I have 3
week
kids. I'll get vacation in.
I'm not taking a week off, no. Oh, actually, I am, but not until August. I don't think we should have an August meeting.
So we got a motion, need a motion to accept the extension to July 31 from the applicant?
Second.
All aye.
Aye,
Aye.
Thank you.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay, that's that. What else we got?
Tahulu,
Is that-
73 Salem Street. They're not coming in,
Okay,
so, decision and proposal for vote for
Is Fadi
two
coming?
nine.
Sorry?
Is,
Community preservation.
Salem
Fadi.
Street coming?
No.
Fadi's not coming.
Oh, I don't know, is Fadi coming?
No,
Okay.
He's not coming either?
no, he's not coming. It's, so we are on,
I'm
so
sorry.
921, 931
Yep.
Salem Street.
Yes.
So we had heard that request for a site plan approval, extension and also an insubstantial change. However, when they were going through the zoning board of appeals process, I had also noticed that under our regulations for the stormwater management and land disturbance permit, he would be disturbing more than 23,000 square feet of land, which would trigger a stormwater management land disturbance permit. The way that it's written, it's more of a formality than anything, is that you can maybe exempt from compliance with the review process of this bylaw as determined by the planning board upon the submittal of the following. So he had to submit a completed application form along with copies of the conservation order of conditions. And then it states that we'll waive the filing fee and that at our next regularly scheduled meeting, the board will vote to approve the permit. So it's really just a formality before you. The plan hasn't changed from what we had reviewed originally, so it's more of just whether or not the board would make a motion to approve the stormwater permit as approved by the Conservation Commission under their order of conditions.
It's the same amount of data, right?
It's everything
Yeah,
that here you
it's
do,
it.
yeah.
We don't need to do it twice.
Motion to approve?
Yeah. Second.
All in favor?
Aye. And what else we got left? That's it?
Hold on, Wally, just give me a second here.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Because he was late.
Yep, it was done. So,
Okay.
that's DOT, yep, that was done. 301,
Which is the community preservation.
yeah.
So the last item under the business items is
What is
that
right here,
the
yep.
Community Preservation Committee
Committee.
Planning Board representative, so Jim Freer was our CPA board member. I have spoken with Mike Dempsey, the chair of the CPA, and he has requested that we designate or select another planning board representative for the CPA, or CPC committee.
In the words of Lisa, I got 3 kids.
Except for the CPA that we were doing before.
What was that, I'm sorry?
Yeah, nobody wants the job? So it's-
Especially.
I
They
got
have
a
no
lot.
scheduled summer meeting either. Their first meeting is scheduled for September.
Do they meet monthly?
They do meet monthly, but I think that it really varies upon what they have on their agenda.
Yeah.
Pete, would you like to?
We did it for the initial, they did it for the initial 10 years, Jim took it from there, and then, nobody wants you, throw me in there, I'm familiar with it.
I can't stand that.
Do you actually have to vote?
I don't know, is that a boat thing?
Yes.
All right.
Al?
Nominate Wally?
Yeah.
Second,
Yep.
Everybody step 1 foot forward, and
Yep,
everybody goes
everyone runs
backwards.
backwards.
everybody all in favor?
Aye.
Quick.
Aye, quick.
Yeah,
Thanks, Wally.
yeah, you're welcome.
New business?
Peter,
I know.
you got anything to discuss with Peter?
Yeah,
Could
yeah,
always
Pete,
stand.
yeah, Pete, you have anything you wanna, no?
Congratulations, Wally,
Yeah.
Yeah,
on your election.
Thank you very little.
Did he,
This gentleman here.
No, I just wanted to hear what was gonna happen if Mr. DeHulu showed up.
Oh,
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, that got canceled a long time ago, and we
I'll
should,
be here tomorrow night.
nope,
Oh, for the,
Oh.
for the conservation. Commission
conservation,
tomorrow.
okay,
Oh, okay.
yes, yeah, I'm sorry. No, we canceled that first,
So-
First,
yeah,
They're
sorry.
postponed till when? Our next,
They'll be postponed until the 16th as well.
okay.
you know, can I ask Peter a question about the 301?
Can you ask him a question?
Yes,
Yeah.
sure.
Even though the hearing's closed, yeah, I can ask him, right?
It's a publicized meeting, so we
Yeah.
can make sure that they understand that there
You
is a
saw
question
the
asked.
new entrance, right?
Yes. With the relocated ramp.
Yeah,
Yes.
I didn't hear it when they were talking before, I didn't know if you had.
Do you have any,
I mean, it's a slight improvement.
Yeah,
a slight,
it is.
Slight.
Well, it's
Slight.
23.
Yeah.
but,
But I think the sentiment coming out of that meeting we had in the field was, we need something a little bit more than just a slight
right,
improvement.
thank you.
Yeah, it's gotta just be
Is that it?
New business,
TEC.
We got new business?
yeah. Any
Nope.
I'm proposing, and I'm not trying to pick, Mr. Sorensen or anything, but I would really like to start the meeting at 7 o'clock. I know Wally is tough getting here at 7 o'clock, but,
Depends on the day.
huh?
Depends on the day.
Right, I know, Wally, and really, I'm not trying to pick on you or anything, but 7 o'clock meetings would be a lot easier, you can get out of here in a reasonable time, especially when we're busy. So, that's make a recommendation to start the meetings at 7, if anybody,
Can you make it at 7?
Depends, like I said, if,
situational.
you know, today was, I'm telling you,
I know.
breakneck
Yeah,
speed, and
yeah, I got your email.
I started at
understand.
midnight.
Oh, I
So,
understand.
But,
Any check
it all
for
depends, it's, when the kids are in school, usually there's school activities, I got 3 kids, although one's in college now, so that'll be a little bit different. So it was, that's why we kicked them to 7:30, because it was impossible to make. We had them for 7 for a while, but it was just with the kids and the kids' schedule. So you can set it up for whatever you want. I mean, if I'm not orbit, then I'll be here. That's not the issue. The issue is, you know, when I come in, but now I commute from New York, so it's
No,
a trip and a
I
half.
understand.
So why don't we try
So if you wanna try it for 7, go right ahead.
you don't mind?
We could always switch it back.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
can
if it's
we
really.
try it if
We
it's
can
an
always switch back
inconvenience.
if we have to.
Yeah, it's on the June, well, yeah, so we're into July in the next meeting, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I won't even have a July schedule yet.
Okay.
Yeah, so give it a shot.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all for getting out early.
Yeah, definitely.
And then,
That's why I
And
try to,
then,
you might see me hustle when I was doing the agenda.
Oh, I know,
really
yeah,
quick.
exactly.
If
Yeah,
we
I
do
understand
that,
that.
Because we
like
used to
the-
do all the legwork like Rebecca's doing during the week.
Well, that's, see, now it's all done, so.
Right, so it's real easy to get through, you know, you set timeframes on the hearings, 30 minutes a whack, an
Yeah.
appointment is 15 minutes, that
Right.
sort of thing, you try to keep it to the
I
guidelines and
mean,
you move
Rebecca's
right
doing a
along.
great job, that's why I'm
And
saying.
maybe we can take August off like we used to.
Yeah,
think
we used to
should take
take
August
it off,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then, I mean, you could view it online too, she posts everything online.
Oh, I
so,
don't have
yeah, so,
Problem catching up, she does a great job with
Yeah.
saying what happened, so that's
Yeah.
not it at all.
I
It's just,
concur with skipping August.
yeah, so,
We have to make sure we don't have any, time.
Right, we have to close
Yeah.
out
So
everything.
we should have another, the woman, excuse me for, I forget her name, Heather with 254 Center Street.
trying to,
Small
yeah,
subdivision, she'll be filing, I believe, in July, so we'll just have to keep an eye on that. I believe we'll have time, I believe it's 165 days for a definitive
Sure.
subdivision, but just
Yep.
keep that on your radar, that's the only upcoming application that I know of right now.
right,
Right, and then we'll have 2 in September again,
yeah,
so.
so,
Okay.
Right,
okay.
motion adjourned?
Nope, we haven't had a, you trying to sneak it in, no?
I'm usually the
Motion to
last one
move
with
the
that, you
meeting
guys
at
used to
7
stampede
PM.
me.
Starting July 16th.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And we
Motion
still
to
got
adjourn.
Business with TEC invoices.
Second.
No, that, we,
We've already done this.
we already
Oh.
did
We
that.
approved everything, you
Yep.
just abstained because
Yes,
Oh,
Yep.
your bill.
so,
I know, but he wasn't here, so I thought.
oh,
We're paying you.
Thank you.
You're
yeah,
welcome.
Well, they could move this a little bit this way, too.
motion to adjourn
We can't-
at,
She made it.
we'll call it 8:30.
Second.
No, because the closer they
All
move
in
it this
favor?
way,
Aye.
Aye.
they're in the intersection even worse. Like at least affords you.
Thank
a
you for
tiny-
watching.
But what I was trying to explain
Peter,
is, so they
thank you.
have to turn right out of here, but they still could make it into this lane in a
So I think I'm
very
in Sudbury
remote
now. You see
possibility
that?
that someone actually